Hey everybody, how's it going? Hope you're having a lovely day. So today I wanted to follow up in the few videos that I've done on age verification. This is a video that I haven't done for a while because I felt some sense of shame at my thought process. But then I had to think back to what started this channel. I'm talking into the camera that I bought about 13 years ago when I first started getting serious about this. And when I bought this camera, I was explicitly discussing issues that were issues where I felt weird discussing it or I felt ashamed discussing it. And this channel became popular because I discussed these things. And I used to think to myself, if I'm thinking it, well, if it's a real thought, then I shouldn't really be ashamed of it. I just have to come up with a better way to explain it so that it makes sense. And then this channel became popular as a result of it. So I want to continue doing that here. When we talk about age verification, I want to be 100% honest with you. When people started emailing me about this, I didn't care. I really just didn't care. I wouldn't even read the entire email. And the reason that that is the case is because I get about 150 to 300 emails a day. I'm trying to run this business and sometimes running it well, sometimes into the ground, depends on what day you're looking at it. I have the YouTube videos that I already want to do. I have the nonprofit that I'm working on. And on very rare occasion, I try to squeeze in having a life. I don't have time to read everything. So I do what many people do, which is I skim by it really quickly to try to get an idea if this is something that I should care about. And I'll be honest with you, the word age verification just doesn't hit me the way that it should. And I'm then thinking about this and thinking, well, if I'm a person that cares a lot about consumer rights and tech freedom, and this didn't hit me that way, how many other people out there are also just people that are apathetic or don't care because of what I am going to present to you as the branding problem? So in the United States right now, there's a lot of debates over ICE and illegal immigration. There are a lot of debates 5 or 6 years ago on COVID and vaccine mandates and shutdowns. There were a lot of debates on whether we should be going to war with Iran or did Israel just drag us into some bullshit again. There are many things that we are discussing at this point in time. You got tariffs, everything else, taking over Greenland. When you look at the daily news cycle, there are a lot of things that are going to hit you and that are going to overwhelm a lot of ordinary people. And one of those issues is usually not age verification. When I hear age verification, it invokes in me that forum agree thing that used to show up like in 2002 when I would join some PHPBB thing where it's like, are you over 13? And I hit yes, and they go, okay. And then they just let me join the forum. When I hear age verification, it hits me gutturally as an issue that a Leafy is here viewer from 10 years ago will be complaining about in the comments. I mean, it doesn't strike me as something that is serious. Like age verification, okay, you're verifying my age, whatever. But when you look at the actual issue at play here, the bill is written in a way where you need to prove that you are a certain age in order to get full access to an operating system or for the operating system to work. And the way that you prove your age is by showing ID. Great. So now I have to show you who I am. I have to de-anonymize myself in order to use a computer. And that is a serious issue. But further, there is going to be some sort of a centralized authority that is looking through these and then allowing the computer to work or not work based on what it sees, which means you are essentially creating the infrastructure to be able to restrict certain people from being able to use a personal computer. And that's a real fucking problem. And we're talking about an era where we have RAM manufacturers to debating whether or not they should even sell RAM to the consumer market anymore or just sell it to the server market that exists within an economy that's tried to turn everything into a subscription, that exists within a computer marketplace where the most popular portable computer that I see is an iPhone, doesn't even allow you to install applications of your choice. Android's moving in that direction. Everything is becoming less free. And as everything is slowly becoming less free and legitimately, objectively becoming less free, you have a law that's proposed by Congress after getting proposed in several states that would not allow everything to function properly unless I show my ID. You are essentially creating the infrastructure that would allow the government to choose who can and cannot have a personal computer. And that's really bad. That's horrible. That needs a better name. Age verification ain't it. Because age verification is something that puts me to sleep. Age verification is boring. Age verification is something where if you're talking to your neighbor and you bring up this issue, they're probably just going to go, oh yeah. And just because they hear it just sounds so fundamentally boring. Like whatever, I show my ID when I buy beer, who cares? That they may not even ask you why they should care. They may not even bother putting the brain cells in to say why they think this is stupid until they just start talking about a movie that they saw, wrestling, or their dog. So I want to ask all of you, because you guys are way smarter than me, and what you think should be done about this. In the last video I did, I talked about this law that was the Parents Decide Act, and you all labeled it very well. You relabeled it into the Government Decides Act, because it's the government who gets to decide who uses a computer, not the parent. Because there were many parents that did not decide that they need to de-anonymize themselves and that they needed to link all the software they're using on their computer, link their computer and that operating system itself with their name, their date of birth, and where they live in order to use their fucking computer. A lot of parents out there in the United States of America sure as fuck did not decide that that is what they wanted to do. The Government Decides Act. That's great. But that's great for this bill because you're renaming the Parents Decide Act to the Government Decide Act. But even then, the Government Decides Act, government decides what? Like government decides where where we're going to put a new traffic light, whatever. What do you mean Government Decides Act? We need better branding on this if there's actually going to be any sort of winning. Now, I've reached out to some people that I trust very much who have said that this act, the federal thing that was sponsored by, I believe it was a Democratic congressman in New Jersey and Elise Stefanik in New York, a Republican there, has virtually no chance of moving forward. And that's great. But you've seen how it's moved forward in Colorado. You've seen how it's moved forward in California. You see what they're trying to do in the EU. Eventually, I imagine this will make its way federally. And even if it doesn't make its way federally, if it happens in one state, this is a problem anyway. How do we rebrand here? How do we brand this into something to where when people read it, they immediately understand all of the implications involved, where they don't yawn it away? Because I've tried to talk about this with other people, and every single time, 100% of the time that I open with age verification, I don't even get to the point of being able to explain why it's an issue. They just want to move on the conversation to something else. They're bored. And admittedly, I was guilty of this as well. When I was first emailed about this, I would just scroll through and go, age verification. And again, right or wrong, it just hit me in the place where it seems like this is an issue that Leafy is here commenters or some random 10-year-old in Discord is complaining about. It didn't hit me like this is a real issue that affects real people. And if it hits me that way, then I'm not special or nothing. It's just, again, it goes back to that principle of how I started making videos. If I'm thinking it, maybe other people are thinking it. And if I think this way, and I care about consumer rights, and I care about tech freedom, and I've been fighting for this stuff for over 10 years of my life, often at the expense of my hair and mental health, then again, how am I going to get normal people to care about this? We got to name this something better. We have to, this issue can't, in my opinion, if this is called age verification or why you should be against age verification, it's a losing battle right there. Because on its face, age verification really does sound like if you're renting an apartment, we want to make sure you're over 18. If you're going to drink, we want to make sure you're over 21. If you want to drive a car and you want to have a learner's permit, you got to be at least 16. It just invokes things that we're used to in society already. That I don't want that to win. What do you think? What does this get rebranded to? What are we actually pushing back against here? Get a good name for it. Come up with some good arguments. Let me know what you have in the comments down below. That's for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. And for all of you who have asked me to push back against this and discuss it and go over it, my apologies that in the past I did not do so because I just scrolled past it. And that's my worry. If I scrolled past it because it didn't hit me like that, how many other people are doing the same thing? See you in the next video. Bye now.